Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I am here with...
Noah Lane.
Alright, tell us what you're going to be showing us today.
I'm going to be showing you my Raidraptors.
Alright, sweet. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it then.
Alright, very standard of the deck. You're going to play triple Vanishing Lanius. He is the main starter. Basically, when he is summoned, you are able to special summon a Raidraptor monster to your side of the field, which initiates most of your combos. And it doesn't stop you from playing the game if you don't draw it, but it is a really good starter for you to have if you're trying to go full combo immediately. But one of the main monsters you want to see is your Tribute Lanius. He is the Foolish Burial of the deck with an 1800 attack, which always is really good to have when you're going up against a Sprite player, just because that big body can help you get over some of their regular monsters. But you're going to send the next card I'm going to show you mostly, which allows you to actually extend a lot of your plays.
All right.
Which is going to be arguably the best card of the deck, Mimicry. So Mimicry has a really cool ability of when it gets into the graveyard, you are able to search any Raidraptor card from the deck and add it to your hand. So what you do a lot of the times is you summon Vanishing, go into Tribute, Tribute sends the Mimicry, and then you're going to either get another monster so you can keep extending your plays, or you can get a spell or a trap, which lets you grab more monsters or more draw power.
All right, that's actually really cool.
Next up, you are going to do 2 Raider's Wing. A lot of people will only say you need 1, but there's going to be a card that you're going to see later, which you kind of need to play the 2 cards. But basically has an effect of, if it's in grave or hand, you can detach a material from an Exceeds monster you control to special summon it. And if it is used as Exceeds material, that monster cannot be targeted. So a lot of the deck is mostly Exceeds monsters, and it's really easy to make it a material. So you can just have a lot of your decks have a little bit of protection while it's on the field. But I do love the Strangle Lanius. This is your baby extender and another way to get to a small boss monster. If you control a dark monster, you can special summon him from your hand, but you're locked into dark for the rest of the turn, which is no problem. All Raidraptor monsters are dark monsters. And if you control an Exceeds monster that has a dark Exceeds monster as material, you get to special summon a Raidraptor from your graveyard. So if you go Ultimate Falcon, which you'll see, you'll special summon him, bring back something else, and go into another Exceeds monster.
Oh, nice.
It's good to go into an OTK, or if you're going first, set up a really good defensive board. Then we're just going to go into the one-ofs of the deck. The one Singing Lanius, it's an extender. If you control an Exceeds monster, you can special summon him from the hand. Nothing really special about that. The Pain Lanius. This is one of the cards that you will be searching a lot of off of the Mimicry. Because if you control a Raidraptor monster, you can pay life points of 100 equal to that monster's level, special summon this card from your hand, and then it copies the level of that monster.
Okay.
So you can go Vanishing, go into Mimicry. If it's Mimicry's in your hand, then you can special summon this and it becomes level 4.
All right.
Really good card, but it's only a one-of because that burn damage that you take sometimes can hurt you.
Yeah, I can see that. And
then the one last tricks is just because it lets you tribute itself, and then it special summons a Raidraptor Exceeds monster from your deck. No, it can't attack and it has none of its effects, but it's a very easy way to cheese out your Ultimate Falcon or your other Exceeds monsters that you can use with your raid. Last of the Raidraptors, it's the Heal Eagle. This is one of just another extender that the deck gives you access to. And then it has a small kind of way to recycle the rank ups that you have in your graveyard. People say you should play this at 2, but if your deck recovers or reuses its resources like it's supposed to, you really only need the 1.
All right.
Then we just go into some of the more generic monsters. You're going to get Hat Tricker. Basically, if you control 2 monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And it's a level 4. And there is a small rank 4 toolbox that you can do with the deck. So this is just another of the many extenders that you have. You do play the one Zephyros because it is a dark level 4 winged beast, and even though it is a black wing, it fits very, very well with the Raidraptor deck.
Yeah.
And it's being able to bounce a card from the field to the hand so you can reuse its effect on another turn actually is probably more useful than it just having another body. And you do play for the last of my monsters, even though the Samorg is gone, you still play the one barrier statue.
Oh, really?
Yes, because you can there are ways to bring it out very easily, which you'll see when I get to the spells. It's still so good. Being able to lock your opponent and kind of yourself is able to help you make sure that the duel pace is still going your way. And by this time, when you special summon it, you should have a decent end board already. And it's just going to help you either win the game or delay the game enough so that you can get something else on the field.
All right, because the main thing I think about this is it is a locking you into wins, but I mean, as you said, your deck kind of sets up as it is.
Exactly. So you're going to recover a lot. You're going to summon a lot before you get to this, hopefully. This is just a way for you to secure your win.
I got you.
All right, but moving on to the spells, we are going to go into Wing Requital. This card is insane in this deck. So basically, you're going to pay 600 life points, and if you control 2 winged beast monsters with different names, it's Pot of Greed. You get to draw 2 cards.
Oh, wow.
The deck is 99% winged beasts. So if you have this in hand, you just get 2 monsters out, do their effects to search or whatever, then you activate this, then you draw 2 more cards. This card, when it came out, I knew it was absolutely nutty in this deck, and I'm so glad that I was able to get a play set of it.
Makes me wonder why they don't run it in Fluendaries.
Yep. They don't do it because, I mean, like, they don't need the draw power because all they ever need is just to have more monsters so they can get more stuff.
I mean, fair enough.
Triple Sexual Construction. This card, again, that came out last year is insane. It lets you add a rank up from your deck to your hand. That is it. That is what you use it for. Because for years, Raidraptor monsters, Raidraptor players would always say, oh, I want to rank up Searcher, and they had rank up stuff that lets you get from your grave to your hand, but never actually a true Searcher. So you just reveal a card in your hand, and then you get to add a rank up, and you put the revealed card back. So if you want something that can special summon from the deck, like your Zephyros, you can reveal that in your hand and then get a Soul Shave Force or a Skip Force.
Oh, wow.
It's an absolute must-have at 3 in this deck. But we're going to get onto the rank-ups here. You're going to do triple Skip Force. The deck, a lot of players think it could go to 3. I personally don't need it, just because you're only ranking up a good 1, maybe 2 times with this card in the deck. But it also just lets you rank up any Raidraptor Exceeds monster by 2 into another Raidraptor monster. And if a Raidraptor Exceeds monster is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and another Raidraptor to get that one back. So let's say someone late game kills your Ultimate Falcon, you can banish this card and another Raidraptor in order to get that back.
All right, I got you. And you said you only run 2?
I only need the 2 because by this is very much a glass cannon deck. If your opponent somehow survived the onslaught that you just gave them, and there's an Ultimate Falcon on the field or another negate and another big body, I'm not worried about ranking up a 3rd time.
I got you.
But sometimes it does call for it, and you're going to play the 2 Shave Force. This is arguably the best card in the deck. So you pay half your life points, which is kind of steep. You do not want to see this in the game 3. And you can target a Raidraptor Exceeds monster in your graveyard, and then you special summon it. And then you can Exceed summon any Exceeds monster that has 2 levels higher than it. So once you get to the extra deck, you're going to see why this card is absolutely crazy. You can go from your main Searcher and Forstrix, and you can turn it into an Infinity. Or you can turn your rank 5s into absolutely crazy monsters. But I only played the 2 just because that paying half is such a steep cost.
Oh, wow.
And it's like I said, this deck is a whole glass cannon, but there are no more risks that you should possibly make if you're doing that anyway.
All right.
I do run the 2 Swallow's Nest. This is actually the main way I'm able to get out the barrier statue. And so basically, you tribute a monster, a winged beast on your side of the field, and you can special summon a winged beast from your deck of the same level. So you can go tribute Lanius, go into something else. Let's say you didn't open the mimicry or something else that you wanted. You can tribute your tribute Lanius to get that out and further extend your play. Absolutely,
All right.
it's another extender that is put into this deck. But the main thing that you do, which I love to use with mimicry, is this card, Raidraptor Nest. If you control two monsters, well, winged beast monsters, I should say, Raidraptors, you can add a Raidraptor monster from your graveyard or your deck to your hand.
Okay.
So this deck rewards you for playing the deck the way that it's supposed to be. And if you notice with this deck, there's a lot of searching and a lot of recycling. And this helps you do that much more consistently.
All right.
I missed one. I missed one of the rank ups, and it's arguably one of the better ones. This is the Phantom Knights rank up magic. This is ridiculous. So, you target a dark monster on your turn, well, during the main phase, I should say. And then you banish dark monsters from your graveyard equal to the number of how much you want to rank up, and then you can exceed summon it. So, to give an example, Forstrix is a rank 4 monster. And if you want to bring out Ultimate Falcon, you can banish 6 monsters from your graveyard, and then your Forstrix can become an Ultimate Falcon.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's crazy how good this card is, you'll see some even nuttier plays when I get to the extra deck. But the last of the spells are the one-ofs. That's going to be a Harpy's Feather Duster just for background removal. We do not like Imperm. We do not like Mystic Mind. We do not like cards that limit our ability to use their monster effects and get their searches.
Of course.
Monster Reborn, it's an extender for this deck.
I got you.
It's just gonna let you keep going if you do eventually get negated, which you will, but you will find ways around it. And for the last monster, Foolish Burial. You want to see mimicry in the graveyard so that your plays can either not get stopped or you can have them keep going in order to further your combo.
All right.
Last for the main deck, 2 traps, Raidraptor Readiness. When this card is activated, your Raidraptor monsters cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. And probably the better part of the effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard. You take no damage that turn.
Oh wow!
From anything, but you still paying cost will take you life points. So let's say you put it in Punk, you still will pay that. But just being able to say I'm going to survive one more turn is absolutely a necessity to have. And then just because we play such few traps, you play the one of these just so that you can have another level 4 on the field, so you can keep going in your.
I will
plays.
argue that this card is probably one of my only favorite gold rares.
Oh no, it's absolutely beautiful.
This and Xyz monsters.
No, the Eldritch, the golden Eldorado cards look amazing in gold. I love them.
You mean the most hated rarity probably ever printed?
Oh man, the Golden Lord doesn't look good in Golden Rare. I'm sorry, I'll take it. Let's see, down to the best part of the entire deck, the extra deck. You're going to do 2 Forstrix. Basically, when he is on the field, you can detach material to search a Raidraptor monster.
All right.
That is it.
Very simple.
Very simple, but very effective, and you're going to see why that effect is so good when I get to a certain monster. Next up, you're going to go into Revolution Falcon. This by itself has potential to be a 1-card OTK. He has a few cool effects. So you can detach material from him and target a monster on the field that your opponent controls and destroy it, and then your opponent loses half the attack of that monster's in life points. And then another effect it has is you can you can detach material and have it attack all monsters your opponent controls. And any special summoned monster that this card battles has their effect turned to 0. Well, has their attack turned to 0.
Oh wow.
So if your opponent has a field full of monsters and there's no protection on it, you can summon this, detach material, and you can swing at all their monsters, and they lose, and your opponent loses that duel. Absolutely crazy to see.
That is crazy.
Next up, which I think I love the most, is Raidraptor Satellite Cannon.
I just love the artwork for that card.
It's beautiful. So he has two actually evenly cool effects. So when this card is summoned, or exceed summoned, he pops all backer on the field. And the best part about that effect is it cannot be chained to. So let's say they want to say, I activate Imperm, or I activate Solemn Strike. It will not go off.
Oh, wow.
It cannot be changed to, and then it has a quick effect. You can detach. You can detach an exceeds material from it, and then target a monster on your opponent's side of the field, and it'll lose. I want to say it was 800. Yeah, 800 attack for each Raidraptor in your graveyard. So exactly.
Wow.
So let's say you make him. You've been through at minimum 4 or 5 monsters. So whatever this monster is usually going to be the highest attack monster on the field by the end of the battle phase.
That's unreal.
No, it's crazy. But we all know why we play Raidraptors, and it's for my favorite monster in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimate Falcon.
Of course, the card that... Oh, that thing is almost impossible to get over.
This card is unbelievable. Absolutely insane, actually. So, this has a billion effects. One is he is unaffected by card effects, period. Just a 3,500 attack point monster that is unaffected by card effects. That in of itself is enough to make it a cool boss monster. But there's 2 more effects that make this card absolutely nutty to deal with. It can detach and exceeds material, and then your opponent cannot activate cards or effects for that turn. Nothing. No graveyard, no hand, no field. And then on top of that, all monsters on your opponent's side of the field lose 1,000 attack. So you lose all effects, and then all your monsters are weaker just by him being on field.
So this card is a miniature Mystic Mine.
Miniature Mystic Mine, but it's only on your turn and only for that turn. But then after that, honestly, what are you doing against a 3,500 beater that's unaffected?
Exactly.
And then its end phase effect is honestly probably the most annoying part of this card. If he has exceeds material on the end phase of each turn, not just the player's turn, but each turn, your opponent loses 1,000 life points if they don't control a face-up monster, or all monsters your opponent controls lose 1,000 attack. And that takes place during each end phase. So let's say it's literally a start of your first turn and you end on him, your opponent just loses 1,000 life points.
Oh, wow.
And if they just set something on their turn and pass to you, they just lose another 1,000 life points. You can potentially burn your opponent for game with this card.
That's awesome.
No
wonder it's your favorite card.
He's ridiculous. I do play the one Utopia, and I play just him. Spoiler alert: there's no Utopia double, there's no lightning, and you're gonna see why afterwards. This card in of itself is he's enough. Just trust me.
Okay, we'll see. I'm curious now.
You play the one Evil Swarm Nightmare. He's amazing. You get 2 dark monsters for its material, and if your opponent special summons a monster, it gets Book of Moon. So let's say you're going against Sprite, and they just got another level 2 level 2s, or however many level 2s on the field. You can detach material, and it gets set. Funny enough, not once per turn.
Yeah, there's no once per turn on that. Wow.
It's crazy to see. Then I do play the one Dark Rebellion Exceeds Dragon. It's okay by itself, but you're gonna see why I play specifically this one. And just in case you don't know, you detach both materials, target a monster your opponent controls, and it gains half that attack. Just a generic beat stick to have in the deck.
I gotcha.
But we do like to play the upgraded version, and Dark Requiem Exceeds Dragon. So the original Phantom Knights rank up that I showed earlier, that's how you bring this out. And you specifically have to use Dark Rebellion in order to get its really cool effects. So basically, I can target a monster on the field, and its attack becomes 0. You do not detach for that. But its
Really?
detached effect is crazy. If a monster effect is activated, I can detach the material, negate the effect, and destroy it. That effect is not once per turn.
Really?
So if your opponent says negate, well, I'll summon, and then you negate, and then they keep going, and they try to activate a hand trap, you can negate that hand trap as well. And so a lot of the time, you're going to have Dark Rebellion with both Exceeds materials on it, and as well as this. So you're going to have a possibility of 3 negates with just one card.
Oh, wow.
It's absolutely crazy. I do play the 1 Raiders Knight. This is another way to get out the Dark Requiem, but I wouldn't recommend it. But his effect is really, really cool. I can use 2 level 4 Dark monsters, and then I can detach a material from him and rank him up into any any rank 5 Dark material. That is either a Phantom Knight or a Raidraptor or a possible Dark Requiem.
Oh, wow.
So you can, like I said, you can bring out the Dark Requiem, but you can get the even more upgraded Dark Requiem with the Arc Rebellion Exceeds Dragon. Guys, this card is a problem. One of its main effects is it can't be destroyed by card effects inherently, which is really cool. But you can detach a material from this card, gain the attack of all monsters on the field.
What?
I'm not kidding. And it already has a base attack of 3,000. So let's say, including your own, mind you. So if you have Ultimate Falcon on field, and your opponent has Dragoon or whatever, and you somehow bait them on the gate of the Dragoon, this card will gain all of it. But the downside is you can only attack once when you use that effect, which is fine. Because you're attacking with a monster that has at least 9,000 attack. Sure.
Yeah.
Funny thing, that attack gain is permanent.
That's permanent?
That is permanent. So, and that's just one material. So that means you can do it, let's say your opponent survives and they set something, you can do it on your turn again and it'll gain more attack.
What?
The highest I've gotten this card to was 37,000 attack points.
30. Wow.
It was a close duel where all their monsters couldn't be destroyed, but I'm just gonna keep swinging on you with this thing, and it eventually helped me win the duel. But this is next card, the last of the Exceeds monsters, is going to be one of the main cards you summon with Soul Shave Force, is the Cyber Dragon Infinity. Being able to make this card in a Raidraptor deck is hilarious. So you're going to go into 4 Strix, detach it to summon something else and get it engraved for a Link monster, and then you use Soul Shave to get this out.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
And then behind all that, this would be the 4th summon. So this card, that combo gets around Nibiru.
Yeah. I definitely could see that, yeah.
And then just being able to have an Omni Negate on your field as well as a monster that absorbs cards is actually crazy. It's such a good card. That was the main combo that I've been using for years. But for the last of the extra deck, it's going to be 3 Exceeds monsters. Probably the most important one, Raidraptor Y-Strix. This card is crazy. So you use 2 Raidraptors to make him, fair enough. And when he is summoned, Link summoned, you special summon a Dark Winged Beast level 4 monster from your deck.
Just any...
No effects, of course, and it can't be used as Link material the turn that it uses this effect.
But it can still be Exceeds material.
You can still Exceeds with it. And speaking of, if an Exceeds monster that this card is pointed to uses its effect, you can set any rank up card from your deck to your side of the field. And if it is a quick play card, you can activate it this turn.
Wow, that's...
So this card on the field allows you to either get, 4 Strix is in graveyard, I can go ahead and use the Soul Shave Force. Or, okay, I can go ahead and use the Phantom Knight drink up to turn my, let's say, Revolution Falcon into Ultimate Falcon, or I can turn my Forstrix into Ultimate Falcon. This card just allows you to have so much more extension on the field than you honestly should have with the deck. And I absolutely love it. Next up, you are going to play one of Rusty Bard each. This card is why I played the 2 Raiders Wing. So basically, you can send a Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard. Raiders Wing counts as a Phantom Knight or a Raidraptor card.
Wow.
So you can go ahead and Foolish Barrier the Raiders Wing, so you can go ahead and set the Shade Brigadine, so you can get the Shade Brigadine on field, detach it, an Exceeds material from an Exceeds monster you control, and get Raiders Wing back on field to make another monster.
All right.
And then when an Exceeds monster is summoned, a Dark Exceeds monster is summoned to one of the points that it controls to, I can pop a card on the field.
That makes sense.
This card allows you to be an extension and a removal at the same time. Absolutely must have in a Raidraptor deck. But last of the Exceeds monsters, last of the extra deck, we'll just play Access Code. Making 4 monsters, well, putting 4 monsters on the field with this deck is unbelievably easy. And then you saw we play the Brigadine and we play the Y-Strix. And you're going to either have a 4,300 beater or a 5,300 beater, and I can pop a card which you can't chain to.
Well, you'd only use the Raidraptor. The Rusty can't be linked.
Like, can't be linked, which is true, but just being able to have this is crazy. But yeah, that is my deck profile.
So how long have you been playing this deck, by the way?
I've been playing Raidraptors for 7 years.
I don't think I could be so dedicated to a deck to play it for 7 years, but that is insane.
Thank you so much. I love it. It's such a fun deck to use. It lets you feel like a true anime protagonist. You get to summon all these monsters. You get to watch their effects go off. You get to watch them turn into even bigger monsters. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Well, anything else you'd like to say before we end the video?
Make sure you like and subscribe. You are on the best channel.
Well, thank you. I do really appreciate that. Also, be sure to check down in the description. We have my Twitter, and I think that'll be all about it, guys. See you next time.